What's up, Castlers? Ella-Defo7 here with more Let's Castle action. And today,
I'm going to highlight a daily correspondence online chess game between Tibbs 0111 with the white pieces and Jay Santiago with the black pieces. Tibbs won on time in the first game, so I'm sure Santi will be looking for some payback in this matchup. This game took place in the 2024 Shocktober online chess tournament and was completed on October 29th of this year. Let's get into it. Tibbs starts off with pawn to e4. Santi responds with the French defense. We then get pawn to d4, pawn to d5, pawn to e5, pawn to c5. D takes c5, knight c6, bishop b5, pinning the knight. Santi equalizes the material by taking the pawn on c5, knight to f3, queen b6 targeting the bishop. So Tibbs takes the knight with check. Santi recaptures. We get a kingside castle, but Santiago astutely places his bishop on a6 targeting the rook. The rook can't move to e1 because the bishop fork with check is coming. So Tibbs plays knight fd2. Santi captures the rook, and after Tibbs recaptures with the queen, Santi has a nice 2-point material lead. Santi develops his kingside knight, knight to f3, knight to g4, Santi putting a lot of pressure on that f2 pawn. Pawn to h3, knight takes f2, setting up a discovered check. Tibbs sees that and moves his king to h2 and finds himself down a deflating 3 material points. Knight e2, knight bd2, kingside castle, takes, knight g5, Tibbs going after the e4 pawn. Santi pushes it to e3, queen to d3 threatens mate on h7, pawn to g6 solves that problem. Queen to e2, queen c7 pressuring the isolated pawn, knight f3 defends it, pawn to f6, takes, and Tibbs gains a pawn. Santi grabs the open d file with his rook. Tibbs plays rook f1, rook to d5, king h1, pawn to f5. Tibbs tickles the rook, rook d7, knight g5 goes after the hanging pawn, rook e8 defends it, pawn to b4, pawn to a5. Santi looking to open up the a file and infiltrate. Pawn to a3, takes. Santi now kicks the knight to f3, king g7, pawn to h4, Santi doubles up on the d file, pawn to h5, rook d1, Santi offers a trade of rooks. Tibbs ignores the trade and instead moves his rook to e1. So Santi targets the queen. Queen e2, takes. Santi moves his rook out of harm's way. Knight to f3 targets the rook again, so Santi plays rook e4, hitting the queen. Queen d3, Santi now takes the hanging pawn on h5 and goes back up by 3 material points. Tibbs continues with knight to d4. Santi takes another pawn, but the computer deemed this a miss. Rook h4 check was the way to go, and after king to g1, queen a7 is a death blow. But the miss allows Tibbs to check the king with his queen, king f6, queen h4 check by Tibbs. The computer says knight to f3 is a monster move, by the way. King g7, Tibbs checks the king again, king f7, and now Tibbs finds the great move of knight f3. King f6, Tibbs checks the king again. The computer would have liked for Tibbs to build a pawn chain here with pawn to c5. Santi wouldn't want to move his rook because he would lose his queen, and he doesn't want to step his king away from the rook because he'll lose material. So you push the h pawn. You take it with check. The king moves to safety. You check the king again. King moves. Tibbs would then play a waiting move, queen h2. Santi would then be in a zugzwang, so he would be compelled to check the king with rook e1 check. Knight takes, queen takes, king takes, and this is winning. This is definitely a winning endgame for Tibbs. But back to what actually happened. After queen h4 check was played, Santi played king g6, queen g3 check, king f6, queen h4 check, king g7, queen g3 check, and after king f6 was played, that triggered a draw due to repetition. Tibbs actually had the winning position, he just didn't spot the tactic to pull it off, and both players come away with a half a point each. Well done.
thanks for joining me on the Let's Castle channel for another exciting chess video. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Let's Castle chess action. We've got plenty more moves to make and games to play, so don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay up to date on our latest content. And as always, I'm Ella07 telling you to stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.